Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्री श्रीताय गौरचंद्र भगवान की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1st, Chapter 9, text number 34. So text number 34. Yudhitura jo vidhumbra vishvak Kachalulita shrama varya lankrutasye मम निश्चितशरैर्विभिद्यमान त्वचि विलसत्कवचेस्तु कृष्ण आत्मा युधितुरगरजो विधुम्रविश्वक् कचलुलितश्रमवार्युलङ्कृतास्ये मम निशितशरैर्विभिद्यमान त्वचि विलसत्कवचेस्तु कृष्ण आत्मा युधितुरगरजो विधुम्रविश्वक् कचलुलितश्रमवार्युलङ्कृतास्ये मम निशितशरैर्विभिद्यमान त्वचि विलसत्कवचेस्तु कृष्ण आत्मा युधितुरगरजो विधुम्रविश्वक् कचलुलितश्रमवार्युलङ्कृतास्ये मम निशितशरैर्विभिद्यमान त्वचि विलसत्कवचेस्तु कृष्ण आत्मा युधितुरगरजो विधुम्रविश्वक् कचलुलितश्रमवार्यलङ्कृतास्ये मम निशितशरैर्विभिद्यमान त्वचि विलसत्कवचेस्तु कृष्ण आत्मा युधितुरगरजो विधुम्रविश्वक् कचलुलितश्रमवार्यलङ्कृतास्ये मम निशितशरैर्विभिद्यमान त्वचि विलसत्कवचेस्तु कृष्ण आत्मा. Word forward meaning. Yudhi, on the battlefield. Turanga, horses. Rajaha, dust. Vidhumra, turned an ashen color. Vishwak, waving. Kacha, hair. Lulita, scattered. Shramavari, perspiration. Alankruta, decorated with. Asya, unto the face. Mama, my. Nishita, sharp. Sharaihi, by the arrows. Vibhidyamana, pierced by. Tvachi, in the skin. Vilasat, enjoying pleasure. Kavache, protecting armor. Astu, let there be. Krishna, unto Krishna. Atma, mind. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. On the battlefield, where Sri Krishna attended Arjun out of friendship, the flowing hair of Lord Krishna turned ashen due to the dust raised by the hoofs of the horses. And because of his labor, beads of sweat wetted his face. All these decorations, intensified by the wounds dealt by my sharp arrows, were enjoyed by him Let my mind thus go unto Sri Krishna. Purport. The Lord is the absolute form of eternity, bliss, and knowledge. As such, transcendental loving service to the Lord in one of the five principal relations, namely Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya, that is neutrality, servitorship, fraternity, filial affection, and conjugal love, is graciously accepted by the Lord when offered to the Lord in genuine love and affection. Sri Bhishmadev is a great devotee of the Lord in the relation of servitorship. Thus, his throwing of sharp arrows at the transcendental body of the Lord is as good as the worship of another devotee who throws soft roses upon him. It appears that Bhishmadev is repenting the actions he committed against the person of the Lord. But factually, the Lord's body was not at all pained due to his transcendental existence. His body is not matter. Both he and himself and his body are complete spiritual identity. Spirit is never pierced, burnt, dried, moistened, etc. This is vividly explained in the Bhagavad Gita. So also it is stated in the Skanda Purana. It is said there that the spirit is always uncontaminated and indestructible. It cannot be distressed, nor can it be dried up. When Lord Vishnu is his incarnation appears before us, he seems to be like one of the conditioned souls, materially encaged, just to bewilder the asuras or the non believers who are always alert to kill the Lord, even from the very beginning of his appearance. Kamsa wanted to kill Krishna, and Ravana wanted to kill Rama because foolishly they were unaware of the fact that the Lord is never killed, for the spirit is never annihilated. Therefore, Bhishmadeva's piercing of the body of Lord Krishna is a sort of bewildering problem for the non devotee atheist. But those who are devotees or liberated souls are not bewildered. Bhishmadev appreciated the all merciful attitude of the Lord because he did not leave Arjuna alone. Although he was disturbed by the sharpened arrows of Bhishmadev, nor was he reluctant to come before Bhishma's deathbed, even though he was ill treated by him on the battlefield. Bhishma's repentance and the Lord's merciful attitude are both unique in this picture. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, a great acharya and devotee in the humor of conjugal love with the Lord, remarks very saliently in this regard. He says that the wounds created on the body of the Lord by the sharpened arrows of Bhishmadev were as pleasing to the Lord as the biting of a fancy who bites the Lord's body, directed by a strong sense of sex desire. Such biting by the opposite sex is never taken as a sign of enmity, even if there is a wound on the body. Therefore, the fighting as an exchange of transcendental pleasure between the Lord and his pure devotee, Sri Bhishmadev, was not at all mundane. Besides that, since the Lord's body and the Lord are identical, there was no possibility of wounds in the absolute body. Uh, the apparent wounds caused by the sharpened arrows are misleading to the common man, but one who has a little absolute knowledge can understand the transcendental exchange in the chivalrous relation. The Lord was perfectly happy with the wounds caused by the sharpened arrows of Bhishmadev. The word Vibhidyamana is significant because the Lord's skin is not different from the Lord. Because our skin is different from our soul, in our case, the word Vibhidyamana or being bruised and cut would have been quite suitable. Transcendental bliss is of different varieties, and the variety of activities in the mundane world is but a perverted reflection of transcendental bliss. Because everything in the mundane world is qualitatively mundane, it is full of inebrities. Whereas in the absolute realm, because everything is of the same absolute nature, there are varieties of enjoyment without inebriety. The Lord enjoyed the winds created by his great devotee Bhishmadev, and because Bhishmadev is a devotee in the chivalrous relation, he fixes up his mind on Krishna in that wounded condition. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनामिने गौरद्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोमोते काञ्चन हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकां करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरो दीनतारिणम्। Hare Krishna. So I would like to seek blessings of all the Vaishnavas present so that I can speak something on this topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, uh, glorifying the pure devotees of the Lord and the Supreme Lord for my own purification and for the pleasure of all the Vaishnavas. Hare Krishna. So we have been discussing this wonderful section from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, about the glories of Bhishmadev, and wonderful prayers have been discussed. So, this is one of the very amazing, wonderful sections from Srimad Bhagavatam, which brings about amazing glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam is, as we heard, Yasvanubhavam Akhilash Shruti Saramekam. So Srimad Bhagavatam is the essence of all the Vedic literatures, and also it is said Sarva Vedanta Saram hi. What is it? Saram Saram Samudrutam. So Srimad Bhagavatam is the cream, the essence of all the Vedic literature. So all the Itihasas and Puranas. So even Srimad Bhagavatam is essence, so gives essence. So even from Mahabharata, which describes so many stories and so many pastimes about so many personalities, including Bhishma Dev. So Srimad Bhagavatam directly gives essence of the personality of Bhishma Dev in this wonderful chapter. So Srimad Bhagavatam does not talk about the volumes and volumes of so many stories and so many other things that have happened, but directly gives the essence. So essence means there is no additional thing required. There is no, unless it is, there is no additional thing is given unless it is required. Just like Isho, our nectar of instruction, the only 11 verses, the entire essence is given by Srila Rupa Goswami. Our entire journey, right from beginning of our Krishna consciousness till the time we go back to Godhead. So there is no unnecessary repetition. So same is with Srimad Bhagavatam. So Bhishma Dev is such a great warrior and such a great devotee of the Lord, but still so many people keep asking questions. Why did he fight from Kaurava's side and like that? So Mahabharata explains the external reasons for this, and Srimad Bhagavatam gives the internal reasons for this. So Mahabharata explains how it happened, how he did, and what all things he did, and what we should not do. But Srimad Bhagavatam says why he did that. So, Mahabharata gives lessons that because even if you are a great powerful warrior, but if you are on the side of adharma, you will be vanquished. So that lesson it is given. But Srimad Bhagavatam says why Krishna, he fought? Because that was Krishna's will. He wanted to be instrument of Krishna. That's why he chose to fight from the Kauravas side to give pleasure to the Lord in Viryaras. So like that, the proper understanding is given by Srimad Bhagavatam. There is another example, like in 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, we see the pastime of Vritrasura that is mentioned. So Vritrasura's pastime is mentioned in all other, many other Puranas and even Rigveda it comes. But in all other places, Indra is the hero and Vritrasura is the demon killed by Indra. But only in Srimad Bhagavatam, Vritrasura is the hero, who is the great devotee of the Lord. So that internal mood of Vritrasura is given only in Srimad Bhagavatam. That's why Srimad Bhagavatam is the essence. And that's why without proper understanding from Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, if we directly just read Mahabharata, we will get confused about who is hero and who is villain and who is what is happening. So we have to have proper vision from Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam, we see wonderfully this pastime is explained. So Bhishmadev, as he was lying on this arrow bed and trying to pacify Maharaj Yudhishthir, and Yudhishthir Maharaj, to him he spoke about so many different kinds of dharmas and so many various kinds of teachings he was giving. So this is a very big section in Mahabharata. This entire Shanti Parva and Anushasan Parva, that is almost approximately 500 chapters are dedicated for this entire section, which is like almost 20% of entire Mahabharata. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, in just one line, it is covered that he spoke on different subjects. And now directly begin with the prayers. So in these prayers, Bhishma, so for 45 days almost he spoke on these various topics, and now he completely withdrew all his mind and everything, and he focused on Krishna, and he begins to offer these beautiful prayers to Krishna. So Bhagavatam directly brings the zoom on this part where he is offering beautiful prayers of his heart to Krishna. So these are all wonderful prayers, and Srimad Bhagavatam also declares Bhishmadev as one of the great Mahajanas. So these are unique prayers as he is offering to Krishna in a third person. Although Krishna is present right in front of him, but he is referring to Krishna on the battlefield and he is praying to him, the Lord. And he begins to offer these beautiful prayers, beginning with Itimati Rupakalpita Vitrishna. What is next? Itimati Rupakalpita Vitrishna Bhagavati Satvata Pungave Vibhumni Swasukhamupagate Kvachit Vihartum Prakriti Mupeyushi Yadbhava Pravaha. So he offers his consciousness, his mati, his thoughts, he's offering to Krishna. And he's also, so he's offering this gift of his thoughts to Krishna. And Krishna is now opening this gift. What are these thoughts? So one by one, Krishna is opening the gifts he is offering. So the first verse, he offers about beautiful form of the Lord. Tribhuvana kamanam tamala varanam ravikara gauravarambaram dadhane vapuralakakula vrutananabjam vijaya sakhe ratirastu me navadya. So he describes the beautiful form of the Lord, and he wishes that let me have the rati for the Lord who is Vijay Sakha, who is the friend of Krishna, who is driving his chariot. So here, interestingly, we see his relationship with Krishna is centered around the appreciation of Krishna acting as a chariot driver of Arjun. He is not speaking of his own relationship with Krishna. He is simply happy, he is blissful, although Krishna is also reciprocating with him so nicely, but he is simply blissful and ecstatic seeing Lord's reciprocation with his devotee, Arjun. And that is how his wonderful quality of this great devotee, that he is ecstatic seeing Arjuna is getting more mercy of the Lord. So that is one important quality of devotee, that he is happy others getting more mercy and not concerned about himself. So that is how he is pleasing Krishna very much. And Krishna is very much pleased by his wonderful devotional attitude. And so that's why he's praying. And as Prabhupada mentioned, he's in Dasyaras and also primarily Dasyaras and also secondary compatibly, he's in Viryaras with the Lord. So that's what he's praying, that he has Rati for Vijay Sakha, the Lord who is Parthasarthi. So he says, Vijay Sakha, then what kind of Sakha is Krishna? What kind of friendship Krishna is having with Arjuna, and that he is explaining in today's verse. Yudhitura garajo vidhumra vishwak kachalulita shrama varyulankrita se mamanishita sharair vibhidyamana tvachi vilasat kavachestu Krishna atma. He is describing, now he told about beauty, now he is further zooming into the beautiful face of the Lord, what's happening there in the battlefield. So Krishna is, his entire face is covered by the dust which is raised by the hoof prints of the horses, moving horses, and his hairs are scattered and like that. So generally when we start our day, we comb hairs, of course brahmacharis cannot, but comb hairs properly and keep everything nice, and we try to keep it as orderly as possible. But what happens then during the day, then when there are so many activities, in the heat of activities, so many times then, when we are into very sordid action, especially here in battlefield we see, there is a lot of action which is going on, that we are attacking and responding to someone's attack, then all the hairs, they got scattered. So one is into so much in active mode. So generally the hairs get disordered. So this disorderliness is not considered very much beautiful if you see in this world. If somebody comes like this and so we say, what is this ghost? So we'll see. We will not see anything wonderful about him. Similarly, if there is a room which is disorderly, so we will not feel something good about it. Then how is this wonderful, such disordered form of the Lord, apparently, is considered beautiful by Bhishma Deva? There is so much dust and Lord is perspiring so much. So one way we can understand is like some devotee, suppose for example, is working very hard and he's doing some cooking in kitchen and his whole body has become so many dots of cooking oil and different things and he's perspiring. So we see, Prabhu, wow, you are doing such a nice service. So he is looking beautiful, not because of his external, but because of his amazing service attitude. So beauty is not just external, but also about his character, his devotion. So that's why this verse also describes the internal beauty of the Lord, his sweet nature, and so that's why. So similarly, we can understand. So when a person is working hard, he is doing sacrifices, he naturally becomes beautiful. Just like Srila Prabhupada went to West, we have not heard that young people are getting attracted to any old man. It's not possible. But Srila Prabhupada was attracting so many thousands and thousands of so many youngsters. They were giving up their girlfriends and getting attracted to Srila Prabhupada and surrendering their lives to Srila Prabhupada. So that's how it is. So beauty is not just external. It's also about, so that's why it's, the beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. So it has a lot of connection with emotions also, not just external. So here, Krishna is thoroughly engaged in the service of his devotee, and that's why he's busy and he has no time to keep his hairs proper, and so he's fully busy in serving his devotee. So, and of course, through external point of view also, Krishna is looking very, very beautiful, attractive. It's like ornaments, as Prabhupada is saying here, on the beautiful body of the Lord. Another name of Krishna is, we say, as Loknath Swami Maharaj was explaining once, that when Krishna comes, so we call him Panduranga. Why he say? Because when he's coming back in the evening to Vraja from his herding cows, all the dust raised by the hoof prints of cows is on the face. He has become white. So that's why he says him Panduranga. So he's become white color. So same thing is happening here. So Krishna is charioteer. What all activities he is doing? He is charioteer, and it's a very important responsibility of a charioteer. What are the responsibilities of a charioteer? To protect the Ratha and also the Rathi, whom he is driving. And actually, it is a very humble position that is taken by the Lord. Because in this world, how many people want to become driver? Nobody gets a degree to become a driver. Because then it's very big, it's very humbling position. And especially in the wars, in the chariot, because the Rathi, the warrior who is riding, he has to tell the direction to the chariot. He cannot tell, abhi left jao, right jao, aisa nahi. He just hits him on his back with his foot towards left. If he hits, then he has to go, he understand, okay, idhar jana hai, and we idhar jana hai. So like that. So Krishna is accepting that from Arjuna. So and also handling chariot is not an easy thing. It's not like driving car. There are controls, and there is reverse gear and brake, steering. Everything is very easy to control. But in a chariot, it's not easy to control horses. It requires lot of energy and focus to control the horses and give them direction. And that too in the war, there are so many dead bodies lying around and so many things happening. So much active atmosphere. It's very difficult. So lot of effort is required. Enormous stress is there, and so Lord is accepting this stressful situation for the sake of his devotee, and is so expertly and amazingly handling. There are nice descriptions how Lord is driving the chariot. He's driving like this in circular fashion, like this, protecting Arjuna from so many weapons, so many warriors, wonderfully. Actually, at one point, Karna was telling Duryodhana, "You just get me the charioteer like Arjuna, like Krishna, and I will defeat the entire army of Pandavas alone. You just get me one charioteer like Krishna." But little did he know that he had to pay the price to get Krishna as his charioteer. That he was not ready to. What is the price? Sarva dharman parityajya. Mamekam sharanam vraja. He has to forsake all his dharmas, which he is considering very important, including the dharma of Duryodhana as his friend. So that he was not ready to forsake. So, but Arjuna could pay that price. He had paid that price. What was that price? He has made his will one with Krishna's will. And he was ready to carry out the will of the Lord. And that's why Lord was there. That's why he could get the best of the charioteer in the entire world as his charioteer without any salary. So that was the great thing. And this way Krishna was so much engrossed in his protecting Arjuna and taking Arjuna ahead in the victory that he has no time to keep hairs proper and wipe his perspiration and everything. So that's why he's looking very beautiful. So love for Arjuna that is shown by Krishna in this pastime, in this entire before also, but especially in this Kurukshetra pastime, is the ultimate. That's what is Bhishma is explaining himself, and he's relishing that love. And in fact, he's considering himself more fortunate than Arjuna, because Arjuna is on the back and busy in fighting, but Bhishma Dev is from front. He's observing that wonderful reciprocation with Arjuna, and he's so happy, relishing that. So day and night he was very much anxious to make Arjuna victorious, and that wonderful reciprocation has been seen by Bhishma Dev. Yeah, and here Bhishma is hitting arrows on. So generally they don't hit arrows on chariot driver. They are supposed to hit only warriors, but sometimes as a plan of strategy, they may also destroy chariot. Sometimes they may hurt the charioteer, because that gives them upper hand while fighting. And also if the chariot becomes immobile, then that gives them better upper hand. So that's why he was fighting. So in between he was also striking Krishna. He was hitting arrows at Krishna. And Krishna, so Prabhupada explains as today in purport, that Bhishma Dev's hitting arrows to Krishna is like our doing Pushabhishek. So we are putting nice flowers. So Krishna is feeling the same happiness as he was hit by the arrows of Bhishma Dev, because it is not the thing that gives happiness to Krishna, but the intent in which the things are offered. So that is his devotional service, to hit arrows on Krishna. So that is Bhishma Dev's wonderful glorious devotional service. And these arrows are piercing in Krishna's body and bringing out blood. So that is piercing the metal armor and also bringing out so much blood. And he is giving that joy to Bhishmadev. So because the Kshatriyas, the Viryaras devotees, the Kshatriyas, they don't find happiness unless they see blood and like that. So Krishna is giving that effect that to Bhishmadev, because if he says, "Ki, what can I do? I have spiritual body. How can blood will come? Sorry, Bhishma." So if he says like this, then Bhishma will not get that joy. So he's creating that wonderful motion and that wonderful way he's creating blood to give interesting, that's making that scene interesting for Bhishma. And but of course the devotees know that Lord is not different from his body, his spiritual body, janma karma chame divyam. So all these pastimes are for bewilderment of this atheist kind of people. And in second and third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is nice description of Paramatma, where it is said, Lord in the form of Paramatma is Shantam, he is peaceful. And because why Paramatma is peaceful? Because he is neutral. Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshyosti na priya. Nobody is dear to him, he is not envious of anyone. He is equal. Because he is neutral, he is peaceful. But Bhagavan, he is not neutral. Ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya maite teshu chapyaham. So Krishna is not neutral. That's why he is in anxiety. So he is not Shanta. He is so much anxiety, so much stress because he has to save his devotees. He is perspiring, dust covered, and hairs are scattered. That shows he is anxietyful. He is completely anxious. And that's what we see in so many pastimes, how Krishna is anxious and he's trying to protect his devotees. On the eighth day of Mahabharata, the night, so Arjuna was sleeping peacefully, and Krishna coming and waking him, "Hey, why are you sleeping? This is not time to sleep." He said, "What happened?" He said, "You know what is happening there? Bhishmadev has taken pratijna that he is going to kill all the Pandavas tomorrow." So he said, "Okay, fine." The devotee is peaceful. He said, "That is your worry. So I don't have to worry. Let me sleep." So he said, "Don't sleep." Because that night, Duryodhana was poking Bhishmadev that you are not fighting enough and you are siding Pandavas, you are not killing them. Bhishmadev said, "No, I am trying my best. It's not that I am not fighting." So he said, No, either you kill them or otherwise get down, let Karna get in and let him do the job. But that was a great insult for Bhishmadev. So he said, "Okay, fine. These 5 arrows, I am investing them with my ascetic potency, and these 5 arrows will kill 5 Pandavas tomorrow." And he invested these 5 arrows, and Duryodhana was happy because Bhishmadev's vow means that is done. So Duryodhana was very happy. He said, "Give me those 5 arrows." He took those 5 arrows and he's embracing and sleeping in the night. And here Krishna told, "Now go and get those arrows and ask him," because he was supposed to give some favor sometime. So he had promised when you saved him from Gandharvas. So Arjuna went and got those arrows. He also gave. The next day, then Bhishmadev, he asked him, "Where are those arrows?" He said, "Given to Krishna." He is given to Arjuna. So Bhishmadev understood. He said, "I had told you that till the time Krishna is there on the side, it's impossible to defeat them." Actually, Bhishmadev, he was a one-man army. He was alone enough to defeat entire Pandavas and entire their army in just half day. It was enough for him. And there was no need of anyone else. That's why Duryodhana was so confident for this war. He knows Bhishmadev is there, and also additionally Dronacharya is there, Krupacharya, so many other warriors are there. So he was fully confident of this war. Only one person could have stopped, and Prabhupada says that Bhishmadev is equivalent to 25,000 Arjunas. Prabhupada said, so all put together. So that's why he was very confident, and only one person could have defeated, that is Krishna, and he had taken vow that he will not fight. So that's why he was very confident, and that's how it was. So then next day, as we know, the battle began, and Krishna and Arjuna Bhishmadev understood that Krishna's plan. He said, so whatever it is, I will fight in such a way that either Krishna has to lift a weapon or he has to see his devotees dead. So there is no other option, third option. So that day, as we see, and actually Bhishmadev wanted that today I will show to the entire world how much Lord loves his devotees. So that day he began fighting. It said it's like a hot knife in effortlessly piercing the butter. So that's how he was piercing the army of all the Pandavas, and all 50% army was destroyed by in the half day. And he was charging towards Arjuna and fighting. And Arjuna is fighting half-heartedly because he's seeing grandfather. Although he heard Bhagavad Gita entire instruction, but he's still feeling, okay, how can I kill Bhishmadev? What can I do? So he was half-heartedly fighting. So at one point of time, he covered Arjuna, Krishna entirely with arrows, and with next, he is about to kill Arjuna. That how it went, and that is the time when Krishna said, "Now I have to intervene. It's difficult situation now," and it was so tense situation. So Krishna, without any thought, he said, "You don't kill, then I will kill him." Then he jumped out of the chariot, and it is said the situation was so intense, he did not even think of summoning Sudarshan Chakra. He immediately saw a chariot wheel, he took that, and he was running. And not only just running, or not only just throwing, because Sudarshan Chakra he throws from distance, but he did not wanted to miss the target. So he was running, and from close, as he wanted to go close and hit. That's how he was running. And seeing that Arjuna came to his senses, and he also wanted to chase. He leapt and he caught hold of thighs of Krishna. And because Krishna is running, he was in motion. So it took a lot of time for Arjuna to stop him. So he used his long thighs, and that created hoof, like the groove in the ground. And at one point of time, he stopped him. So he said, "Please, Krishna, don't do like this." And he said, "I will fight. Don't worry. I will kill Bhishmadev. Please don't worry." So that time Krishna stopped, and then they went back. So and Bhishmadev was in ecstasy. He wanted to see this form of the Lord, that he's so much anxious to protect his devotees that he can go to any extent. And that was the time when the entire war was paused, and all the people, all the warriors, they are seeing this particular moment. And while they are going back to chariot, that day was over. So, and the next day, further things happened. So here we see how anxious Krishna is to protect his devotees. And so it's almost time to end of today's day. So like the war was also ended. So so basically Krishna ran, and he showed such a wonderful love for his devotees. And so this amazing dynamics that we see, that Bhishma wanted to show to the world the love of Krishna to his devotees, and Krishna wanted to protect the promise of Bhishmadev, and Arjuna doesn't want Krishna to break his promise. And that's why next day he was very cautious that today I will fight properly, otherwise Krishna again has to intervene and doesn't want to break his promise. So Krishna is at the same time reciprocating so many wonderful rasas with different devotees, reciprocating with wonderful devotees. He is caring for, externally appears that he is caring for Arjuna, protecting him, but he is also having wonderful exchange with Bhishmadev. And that is giving him joy, as Prabhupada explained in this purport. So he reciprocated with with Bhishmadev by Virya Rasa during the battle, and also by protecting his word. And also he fulfilled his cherished desire that to see Pandavas as the rulers of this world. So he brought them to him at the end of his life, and he himself came to see him and to give him darshan while he is passing away from this world. And that's why he awarded him this glorious death. And that's why. So at the same time, Krishna is interchanging so many wonderful reciprocation with his devotees. So that's how we see. So here Bhishma is offering such wonderful prayer that let that wonderful form of the Lord, who is so much anxious to protect his devotees, so much caring for his devotees. So let that be my meditation. That is wonderful prayer he's offering. So Srimad Bhagavatam is not just book. It is Lord Krishna himself. And all these personalities are right there when we hear Srimad Bhagavatam. And if we hear with faith, then all these personalities can also reciprocate with us and can also bless us with the kind of devotional mood they have. So uh, that's what we learn in today's amazing prayers of Bhishmadev. So we'll stop here. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. श्रील प्रभुपाद की